Hi, this is Rabbi Lawrence from the Great Synagogue in Sydney. Some books have memorable first lines. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Call me Ishmael. In the beginning, God created. This week in Shul we shall read Parsha Vayikra, beginning the book of the same name. The book opens, Vayikra el Moshe. He called Moses. Vaydaber Hashem elav me'ohel moed, and God spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying. He called Moses, and God spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, who would ever start a book like that? It's strange to begin with, he called Moses. For starters, we need to know, who's the he? Why not just say, God called Moses from the tent of meeting, saying, or better yet, set the scene and also cut out the redundant saying altogether. From the tent of meeting, God said to Moses. Is it just a case of sloppy editing? Some consider that Vayikra is out of character with the books that precede and the books that follow. And thematically that's true. It is a book very different to the narrative that we've become used to, the evolution of a family into a tribe and a nation. Vayikra is resplendent in mitzvot, predominantly concerned with purity and sanctity, worship and sacrifice. Vayikra is personal. It's about us drawing close to God. So let's revisit the opening line. Wherever the text seems cumbersome, it is seen by the commentaries as a signal for explanation. So what is the point of the Vayikra, and he called? The commentaries say the word Vayikra, and he called, contains the Hebrew root yakar, he endeared. Says Rashi, there is no calling without bonding. A dialogue with God is not just about responding to a command, it is about coming together in a bonded relationship, an endearing relationship. The double expression Vayikra and then Vaydaber, he called and then he spoke, serves to highlight this idea of God drawing closer in a sense of intimate conversation. In fact, if you look at the word as it's written in the Torah scroll, you'll see that the word Vayikra is always written with the aleph at the end as a small letter. And it's been this way in scrolls for as long as we have records. Vayikar, it begins, he endeared, with a small aleph. What's an aleph? An aleph is the first letter, it's number one. It's number one in capitals. Echad mi yodea, who knows one? One is God. When God calls Moses, even to tell him something, even to give him a list of instructions, Vayikar, the relationship comes first. It's done in a loving way. It's done in a bonding way. It's done in an endearing way. And instructions are always given with a small aleph. Number one takes a slightly smaller place. It's still there, but it's secondary to the relationship. There's no doubt at all that Jewish living makes some heavy demands, and sometimes some demands we can scarcely fathom. Climbing the spiritual staircase seems a formidable challenge, and it can be difficult to persevere. And it's such times that we're reminded, Vayikra el Moshe, he called Moses, Vaydaber Hashem elav me'ohel moed, and God spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, God took the very first steps in our direction, and he approached us in a spirit of endearment. He even approached us with a small aleph. The relationship is greater than the ego. As we get ready to celebrate Pesach and freedom in a couple of weeks, we should take a couple of steps in the direction of our Creator and Redeemer. Find a mitzvah and do it better. Help someone who needs a seder have a seder. Help someone who needs money for matzah or wine. Buy that wine or that matzah. Don't just stop eating bread this year. Sell your chametz. They're all little steps in the right direction, a part of our bonding with God. This is Rabbi Lawrence from the Great Synagogue in Sydney, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom.